welcome to day 9, and we're almost done with our declutter challenge. So just take a moment, take a deep breath, and let it all out, because we have done a lot of energy shifting and a lot of moving and a lot of creating space. So today we're going to be doing the kitchen, which is actually a really big one because it's one of the spaces in the house that we probably use the most. So it tends to collect the most clutter as well. A few things I want you to do before we start is fill a bowl with soapy water so that you can actually clean up a little bit as you declutter, and then you're like knocking 2 birds with 1 stone. Then I want you to get your 3 boxes ready: the cleanup box, the giveaway box, and the garbage box. Because often in the kitchen you have items that can actually go elsewhere in the house, but they're just in the kitchen, like that second drawer, right? And remember, if you feel overwhelmed with your kitchen, just start small. Just start with 1 drawer or 1 cupboard, and then you can continue a little every day or even every week. The point is, I want you to do something. I don't want you to just be like, freak out and then not do anything. And a great way to sort through the clutter in the kitchen, and specifically utensils and tools, is to ask yourself, when is the last time I actually used this? You might have like baking formations, or heart-shaped ice cube trays, or like a cappuccino frother that you bought on the whim that time for a tea party you had and never used again. So when was the last time you used these things? Alright, so we're going to start at the top of the kitchen and at the top kitchen cupboards. And I want you to go through it and kind of organize it and see, food items, check their expiry date, see whether or not you're actually going to be eating this item. Obviously, if it's tin cans and stuff, it is probably still useful and you can still eat it and it does serve you, so you're not going to chuck those things out. However, you might have tried a packet of crisps that you don't like, or you might have wanted to buy something, you tried one of it and it came in a pack of 10 and you've still got 8 of them left. Well, that can go. We're then going to move on to our drawers. So the drawers, usually the first drawer is knives and forks and utensils like this. And just see, do you have like 25 knives and like 15 forks, I tend to collect a lot of spoons, but the thing is, I use a lot of spoons and I love wooden spoons, so I'm not going to chuck those out because I actually find meaning in them and I like them and I love to eat from wooden spoons. However, I don't need 15 knives. At the most, I'll use like 3 knives. And I'm not talking about like cutting knives. I'm actually talking about knives and forks to eat on the plate with. And the second drawer is usually the junk drawer in the kitchen. So go through that. You have coupons that you don't use anymore. Have you got like 3 pairs of scissors in there? Just take it all out and sort through it. See what you need, what you don't need. And you've got your 3 boxes for sorting through as well. Then we're going to go under the kitchen counter and under the sink, right? So open it, sort through it. Maybe there's like some products that only have like this much in it, like a window cleaner and something like this. Maybe you can refill a few and then you can recycle the bottle. We're going to go into the pantry next. So the pantry is, you might or might not have a pantry. I don't personally have a pantry. I just use my kitchen cupboards for that. But if you have a pantry, start at the top shelves and work your way down. And it's great to also use this as a time to sort through the different items that you have in there, the food items, and maybe like categorize and organize it a little bit well there as well. Then we're going to move on to the fridge and the freezer. So the fridge is a little bit easier because it's usually goods that have a shorter expiry life. But do check, because I tend to make meals, stick them in the freezer, forget about them, and then they go moldy. So, clean out your fridge, start with the top drawer, clean it out. I know my dad has a lot of medicine in his fridge because we're here in Bali where it's humid and the medicine has to go in the fridge. And I bet he hasn't checked it in about a year. So go through your fridge and, sort it out. Chuck things out. If you don't use it, you lose it. The freezer is another issue because it's like, you freeze things for later time. And I always have the great idea that, yes, I'm going to eat that at later time. But you know what? I rarely do. So my freezer is full of things. And I think I had some like frozen broccoli in my freezer for like over 1.5 years, which I actually don't want to cook because I actually don't feel like it's going to be nutritious. I'd rather grab a new fresh piece of broccoli from the organic market down the road. So, out it goes. And with food, if you live in a third world country, just donate the food. Or, in South Africa, when I'm on the road, I usually have a bag of oranges with me and I give oranges away instead of giving money. So that's a little tip if you live in a third world country, to give away the food that you no longer want. Last but not least, we're going to talk about your kitchen counter. And only keep things on your kitchen counter which you're going to use every single day. It's going to make your kitchen feel minimal, feel beautiful. It's easy for you to cook if there's space for you to spread out when you need to cook. I can guarantee this to you because I used to live with a tiny kitchen, and it was my #1 frustration was I didn't have enough space to chop and then mix, and then oh my god, where do I put that, and that's cooked, and it was like a big frustration, and I hated it. So create the space in your kitchen. Upgrade your life like that. Why don't you deserve to have a beautiful kitchen space? So this is a really big one, so take it slow and easy. You don't have to do everything in one go, but if you do, go for it. And I want you to post a photo of one item in your kitchen that you can't decide whether or not you want to, chuck it or keep it. And let us help you. Let us ask you some questions about that and give you some feedback, and maybe you'll make your decision a little bit easier. So that's it for me today. We're doing the kitchen. See you tomorrow for our last day. Much love.